In this video, I've strung together a sequence of short videos. I think I've got about 6 of them now that each present a therapy for cancer that I was exposed to at the Immunity Therapy Clinic, Carlos Bautista's creation in Tijuana, Mexico. I had a PSA prostate cancer number of 295, which is through the ceiling. Those of you who are familiar with that number will probably bolt out of your chairs when you hear that. That's what I had when I arrived in Tijuana. I was already written off for dead in my native country. I left with a PSA down around 4.3, and today it's below 1. It's measured in decimals. I've done it with certain therapies like Firmagun and a cancer vaccine. You'll see that reference to that injection coming right up, but I'm sure those were very significant, probably the 2 most significant things, just in killing the cells and in cutting off their fuel. But these other therapies too, I wouldn't want to underestimate the role that they had in, if not killing the cancer, then at least keeping it from spreading. And for those of you who are concerned about this issue, and I think perhaps we all should be, 1 or more of these things could be part of your daily routine. Why not? They're really easy to work in. These are some of the supplements that I have to take every day, some of them 3 times a day. Over here at the end, these are the remnants of some of my needles that I've had to use. The coolest injection of all of these is I got this at the Immunity Therapy Center in Tijuana, Carlos Bautista's clinic. It's called the Specific Killer Cells Vaccine, which was made from the cells of my own prostate. And those vaccines go after my unique cancer cells. I think that has been very effective, but I give myself maybe 4 injections. The rate is going down a little bit lately, but every week I take some injections. I gave myself 1 this morning in the gut. So, that's part of life when you are recovering from cancer. And this is my ultrasound. I use this once a day. This is just like what a pregnant woman would be used on her in the doctor's office to look at her child. She would have her tummy smeared with something like this. And you can get this from Amazon. I had a little tube of it that originally came in a box here, but of course I quickly used that up. You have to smear something on yourself to make the surface here glide easily without being obstructed by something that's thick and gunky. And you use this over the area of your body where the cancer has affected you. Since I had prostate cancer, I'm not going to give you a demonstration. You just plug it into the outlet and switch it on. You run for about 15 minutes. You do this manually. We did this also actually a nurse would do this for us at the Immunity Therapy Center. And ultrasound, it's used to look at babies, so obviously it doesn't hurt normal tissue inside of the body, but it is apparently effective in breaking up cancer cells. And this is one of our therapies. I've already done my heat lamp for the day. They called this in Tijuana the mag ray, and I think it's commonly called that online. I usually lie under this for 20 minutes or so, and I'm going to be doing this later tonight. This is a pad that I'll put over my abdomen about where my prostate would be, or used to be, before most of it was removed. All of these things use what they call far infrared heat, very long wavelengths, And so they're not going to damage you, but they are going to create a heat that destroys cancer cells. And I do these therapies every day. So, hey, it's working. And none of it will be paid for by insurance, just so you know. None of it. No Medicare, no insurance. Out of pocket. This is what I call my biomat. I'm not sure what the proper name is, but we had something, it wasn't by this precise manufacturer, but something very like this at the Immunity Therapy Center. It has, I think, 4 different kinds of crystal in it, quartz and amethyst and a couple of other kinds. It, again, sends this far infrared heat up through your body, very penetrating. Cancer cells hate heat. So anything like this, and this is whole body therapy. You can treat your whole body with this, and it forestalls the spread of cancer. It possibly even kills cancer. I'm not sure. You have to cover this thing up with a mat before you lie on it. And then you give yourself half an hour to an hour, is usually what I do. A nice little rest. It's the heat helps you go to sleep. It's a good way to take a nap. Pretty cool piece of technology. This is my favorite. This is a far infrared hypothermic device. Again, this is whole body hypothermia. Don't have anything on, so I better get decent and zip up the front. This is, of course, a sauna. And I do this after I exercise, and I've had my smoothie to restore my energy a little. All the way up to the neck. And I've got a little zipper here if I want to take my vitals or my temperature or anything. But it should get to at least 104 degrees in here. And believe me, it does. It's my body temperature, that is over 104 degrees. And I try to keep that for about 20 minutes. And again, cancer does not like heat. So you give your body a strong dose of this, and the cancer cells, they die. At least they don't spread. This has to be the coolest of all the technologies that I have. I'm punching in the sets that I want to run. There we go. Maybe you can see that one's starting with a cancer. That one over there on the other generator is starting with the prostate. These are the cancer's general, and the prostate set is for specifically prostate cancer. This is pulse emission. I'm tired. It's late. I'm about to go to bed, and that's when I turned this on. It's called a Pearl. A plasma emission. Radiant Pearl. Radiant light. It's actually built off of Rife technology. We didn't have something like this in Tijuana, but we had a kind of more primitive version. We would put our feet on a couple of plates, and we would hold in our hands a couple of copper cylinders, and all of it was hooked up to one of these generators. The nurse would type in the sets that would run, and we do that every day for about 20 minutes. This is going to run all night. Well, not all night, but I'm told that eventually this can go for 10. They like for it to go for 10 hours, as long as 10 hours. This is probably going to go for about 6 hours. It's going to do my cancer sets, and maybe also help me a little bit with this lisp that I still have from the Bell's palsy. I've got a set for that as well. Rife technology, as I understand it, and all I can do is give a quick sort of layman's explanation, but It uses sympathetic resonances to target certain cells that will degrade or just explode at those resonances, and everything else in your body that it's not sensitive to those resonances, and it'll be just fine. So it's a perfect way to go in and pinpoint certain toxic cells that you don't want in you. There are literally thousands of suggested sets in my manual here that I have down on the floor. And I've got the machine, the Pearl, set up outside of my bedroom because I'm going to close the door. As you can imagine, it's hard to sleep with this, not just with the light, but with the beeping that the thing starts to transmit after a while. So I would, when I'm ready to go to bed, which is not quite yet, I close the door on it, and I can sleep unobstructed, or I can go downstairs. The waves will travel as much as 30 feet, so I can be in most other positions in the house and still get the benefit of having that Rife technology, those sympathetic resonances ridding my body of toxic cells. I think that's pretty cool. It's an expensive machine, but no worries, you can't buy it in the United States. We just don't allow things that are voodoo to be sold in this country, so we'll protect you from investing money in that. Oh, by the way, my Bell's palsy, which is supposed to take 3 to 6 months to clear up, it's cleared up in about 4 weeks. The paralyzed side of my face, it's completely back. I just have a little trouble talking. Both eyebrows are back. This had something to do with that. So hopefully, please God, it's helping my cancer cells get zapped as well. Well, so there you have it. I have to add by conclusion that Medicare doesn't pay for any of this. My insurance doesn't pay for any of this. I don't think most insurance would. This is thanks to the medical community, which has decided to rule all of these things in the realm of voodoo. They're not real treatments. So, when I flew to Tijuana, I couldn't even, I'm not going to be able to claim my airline ticket as a tax deduction. As far as Uncle Sam is concerned, that was just a vacation, even though the beaches were closed because of COVID. No reason to go to Tijuana as far as I was concerned, except to save my life at Dr. Bautista's clinic. The money that I had to access by selling off some of my stock, that's going to be reported as income, so I'm going to pay tax on that. Not only do I not get any sort of tax break or insurance reimbursement for any of this, but I'm going to get punished when it comes tax time because I had to go to another country to save my life. I hate to say it, I regard myself as a patriot. I'm a born and raised American. I believe in the American way, but the way that the things I had to do to save my life and the way that this healthcare system in this particular instance is operating is a load of crap.